Hello everyone, we are in application season and many of you are probably wondering which institutions you should be applying to. This video is going to guide you exactly what are some of the things you need to be thinking about when applying and how do you make sure you pick the best institution for you. If this information is of interest to you or you know someone who might make use of this information, please do stick around, and if you know someone, do share the video and let's get right into it. Hello everyone and welcome to I Know You Know, your one-stop knowledge sharing platform for all things careers, life after high school, as well as opportunities that are available to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you like any part of this video, please give it a thumbs up so that other people can find it, but you can also directly send it to your people who you know will benefit from this information. As mentioned, we will be detailing and discussing exactly how to pick the best institution for you. Going forward, I'll be using the word university a lot, but really I mean any higher learning institution. It can be a college, a technicon, a university of technology, whatever it is. Insert the word that is relevant to you in that. I just can't mention all of them every single time. But essentially in this video, we want to talk about how you make sure that you end up picking the right institution for you. Remember that there are rankings, national rankings and international rankings that exist for higher learning institutions. But it doesn't mean that if a university is ranking number 1, that it is the best and it produces the best graduates in all programs. Do you know what I mean? You might find, first of all, that it's ranked because of its research. So let's start there. So the rankings mean different things. So you need to also understand what it's ranked for. You might find that it's ranked number 1 for its research, that it's producing quite a lot of good research, you know. But besides, even if it is number 1 because of a specific program or whatever the case might be, you might find that it might produce the best accounting graduates, for example, but maybe another institution that is ranked number 5 maybe on the list actually produces the best medical graduates, you know. So you need to do your research and don't just pick based on the fact that some program or ranking system ranked a specific institution on some number, you know. And I've seen it before where students really almost want to die if they don't make it into a specific university that they want, whereas they could very well study towards what they want to study and become good professionals by doing it at another institution. So don't worry so much about the ranking specifically. Rather do your research and follow all the tips we're going to share in this video. Now I've said a lot, so let's get into it. The very first thing, and you might already guess this, is that you need to do research on your prospective degree. Now what does this mean? This means you need to look into what it is you want to study, what sort of jobs you'll be working in once you've studied this, and what are the skills you need to be good at these jobs. Then you need to check out different universities' websites, look at their programs and their curriculum, look at what they offer, what is the full package of what the university offers. So for example, some universities are well known for example, being in a hub where you can get jobs for students or whatever the case might be, or where the university maybe does a lot of work within a specific industry. So for example, Johannesburg is the hub of like the creative space, film space and all of that. So you might find that when you are schooling in Johannesburg in that specific area, there's a lot more opportunities that you can maybe do part-time in that specific area. Whereas for example, Cape Town is known for like ads and adverts and things like that. So you might find that if that's the space you want to go into, it's still in the creative space, remember, but it's a specific niche that you want to get into. It might be best to be based in an institution that is in Cape Town so that you're able to do and explore part-time some of the ad type of work you can get and see if you can even work while you're studying. So it goes beyond just what the specific institution offers in terms of their curriculum and their course outline, but also what the environment where the institution is offers. So you need to do your research in that regard. All right, I almost forgot. As part of your research and doing research in your prospective degree that you want to study towards, you also need to find out what the different institutions' requirements are, because that will definitely limit or expand your options if you receive a certain mark. So some universities will say you need to have a level whatever in a specific subject, depending on what it is that you want to study. The moment you don't get that, please understand that you absolutely will not be taken for that program, because besides getting that, which is the bare minimum, you might find that 100 people get that level or get those specific requirements, and the program only takes 30. So you can just imagine that if you didn't get those requirements, you absolutely do not stand a chance. So you need to do your research in that regard as well, to find out what it is that they want from you. What final marks should you be targeting? And remember to always target higher so that you have more options, but also so that you stand a good chance and you don't just get the bare minimum, because like I said, multiple people probably get that, and institutions usually have to pick from applicants and they can't take everybody. So you need to ensure that you really get really great marks and you're really good, or your portfolio is good, or whatever it is that you need to get into your program. You need to make sure that it's brilliant and excellent. Number 2 is similar to number 1, but it's a little bit different. So after you've gotten the understanding of what program you would like to get into, what is required by the different institutions and so forth, you need to now compare that with what the job market is saying. So like I mentioned in the earlier point, you might find that it is well known that the University of the Free State, for example, produces the best law graduates, and companies tend to want to hire from that specific university. You might find that the same exists for whatever program that you are getting into or want to get into. And so you need to do your research in that regard as well, to understand what the job market is. And it's not an exact science, because it is also open to interpretation, and sometimes companies don't necessarily always follow that and so forth. But the reality of the matter is that studying law at one institution is not completely the same as studying it at another institution, specifically because, and you'll see this when you do research on the course outlines and you find out what the curriculum looks like throughout the duration of the program, that it does differ. So some institutions might focus a lot more on specific areas of that industry, whereas others might not have other areas within the specific industry. So you might find that companies might have a specific need or niche within their line of work that needs you to have done a specific course that is offered by a specific university. So you do need to do your work, your research in that regard. And what you can do, you can even use AI tools such as ChatGPT and really just look into putting prompts such as what are the top 3 faculties of medicine in the country, or what are the if you want to work for a specific company, you can look at which university does this specific company mostly hire from, like the alumni that's in that company, which universities are they from, and that can give you a good idea of what the market itself wants and what it values and which programs it values. As mentioned, it's not an exact science, and you might even find competing ideas where someone will say, no, this university has the best law faculty, whereas another company says, no, we want students from this particular law firm. So it is dependent on the needs of the market, and that's why it's important for you to do that research specifically for your program and to make sure that you understand what the labor market in your specific industry looks like. Number 3 is a very good one. Talk to different university students. Now, as much as it's good to prioritize the institution you go to because of what the job market says and where you could potentially work, you do need to make sure you go to an institution that will give you the best support. And the best people to talk to about this are university students that are themselves within those institutions. Now, a good way to reach them is through LinkedIn. A lot of university students nowadays have LinkedIn profiles, so you can text them. Remember to be straight to the point, but don't be rude, so that they can decide if they want to answer you or not. But yeah, you can text them on LinkedIn. You can also find them on social media, especially if they do create content about their university experience. It might even be an easier platform to reach them on and ask them questions about. However, just make sure that you are polite in all your questions, and remember, they don't owe you answers. It's really a favor if they do answer, but it is a a good shot and a shot worth taking to find out from different university students how their experience is, what support they have, and things like that. Another group of people you can talk to, and this is number 4, are professionals within the fields or field you want to get into. Now, you can also reach them on LinkedIn, but similarly to the previous point, they might not want to answer. Not everyone is super passionate about developing other people and assisting and so forth. And some people are just downright busy. So there's also that aspect of this that you need to consider. But you can reach out to professionals to find out exactly how it is working in that specific industry, because it might be that you have an idea of what it's like to work in that industry, but it might not be exactly as you think. So text professionals in that space, go through their profiles as well. Sometimes it's not even about getting a specific DM or inbox from them, but really just even looking through their profile in a researchy kind of way, not in a stalking kind of way, where they might be talking about their work and all of that. That in itself can give you a good idea of how their work is, what they do, what they find challenging, what they find fun, and that can add to your knowledge of that specific industry, and it can help you decide if it is the job for you. At the very last point is that you need to research different companies that hire in your desired industry. You need to look at where they're based, where their head offices are based, where you might potentially work if you end up working in this industry. Because you might find that you're thinking you'll be in the city, but you actually find out you actually need to go to a very small town that is remote and very far away from the city. So you need to be aware of those things and factor that into your decision making, because if it is a deal breaker for you, then maybe it's not worth pursuing a career that will need you to be placed somewhere where you're not interested in living. So you need to look at those kinds of things. Also find out if the company has a graduate program, because in a graduate program, obviously you get to learn and all of that, but beyond that, you might find that besides a graduate program, they do have requirements of firstly how to get into the graduate program. But while you're studying, they might have vacation work opportunities and different events where you can partake in and participate that will give you an idea of what the company is all about. So all of this needs to be part of your research, and hopefully to assist you in making the right decision on which institution you need to go into and which companies you can target thereafter. I hope this video was useful to you. Please give it a thumbs up if it was, and share it with someone you think will really gain a lot of value from this video. See you in the next one. Bye.